Hey y'all, it's Sarah, the wine-loving bookworm, back with a multiple book, single wine review for your Sunday evening. I'm sorry I haven't been around. I've just been, I don't know, my heart kind of wasn't in it, dealing with all this COVID stuff. I've been reading a lot, but just getting around to doing this video didn't happen. But I'm back. A couple people were asking if I was gonna do any more videos, so I decided to go ahead and do one, and I've read 4 books at this point, so I'm just gonna do like a quick rundown of those 4 books. But first, let's start with the wine. I picked a rosé, Capuchon, something like that, I don't know. This is California-born Rhone style, from Central Coast of California. It says it has pomegranate and dragon fruit. That sounds good. I forgot to put it in the fridge, as is my way, so I had to stick some ice in my glass. You can hear that. That's my dog getting on the couch. Oh wow, that is good. Oh man, that's good. That like almost tastes like sangria. That's really good. That's some dangerous stuff right there, because you could just, on a nice hot day like today in Florida, you could drink a lot of that. So Capuchon, I have no idea. This is from my wine club, Wink, and I think this is like one of their wines they do. I don't really understand it, but I think that's what it is. This is delicious though, so pick yourself up some of that. Okay, so let's get on to the books. I'm not gonna really go in order. 2 of the books I have here, 2 of the books I don't. I lent them out. So let's start with The One by John Mars. I had high hopes for this book because I heard that it's kind of like they create, they being scientists, create a test that will find your soulmate. And so you know the person you're supposed to be with via this like Ancestry.com kind of test. But kind of a problem with it is people who are married or in serious relationships take the test and then end up leaving for their quote-unquote soulmate. And then things kind of unravel at the end. I had high hopes for this, and I actually read it on a list of like great books of 2020. It wasn't great. It was hair in my mouth, kind of terrible. To be honest, it was cheesy, and they're actually saying they're gonna make it a Netflix series. I'm like, oh no. So I don't know. I could actually see it being kind of like a soapy kind of series, but man, it was not good. There was a part in it, one of the couples kind of profiles 5 or 6 different couples. I read this a while ago, so I'm unclear on the details. But one of them was actually a serial killer who did it. So that was the only really interesting part, I thought, of the book, like having a serial killer find his soulmate. But the rest of it was like, eh. So, pass on The One by John Mars. Then I read The Summons by John Grisham. I usually like John Grisham books. I am an attorney in my day job, and so I find them interesting. King of Torts was like, I think, my favorite John Grisham book. So if you find that one around, pick that one up because that's amazing. This one was boring. Oh my gosh, nothing happened. It's like, can something please happen? Could anything happen? I mean, it was so terrible. It was just not one of your finest moments, Mr. Grisham. So pass on this one. Basically about an old rich judge, and his son is trying to find out where he got all this money from. He dies, and his son it's just so boring. It's so boring. Okay, pass. I don't even want to give it any more time. Okay, the other 2 I don't have with me. One is called Sharp Objects. It's by Gillian Flynn, who wrote Gone Girl, and it's actually an HBO series starring Amy Adams. So I read the book. The book's very dark. It's a lot. There's a lot going on in that book. It was good. I'm probably one of the few people in the world that didn't like Gone Girl. So I think her writing tends to be a little uneven, and she's a good storyteller, but she's not the best writer in the world. So I don't know, it kind of lost me. It's a good story though. It's really interesting, and man, I did not see the ending coming. I guess that's kind of like Gone Girl too, right? Take another sip of this delicious rosé. Man, that's good. So I did watch the HBO. It's like an HBO mini series on it. real dark, disturbing. It's dark, disturbing stuff, but it's basically about two girls that that disappear, and in this town called Wind Gap, and this writer who lives in Chicago in the book, I think, but in the HBO series they had her in St. Louis, I think. It's Missouri. And Wind Gap, Missouri is where she's from. And so her editor sends her down there to cover it. And she has a terrible relationship with her mother. This lady is hanging on by a thread, the reporter. Like, she's very mentally fragile. Huge alcoholic. So, and her mom is this rich pig farmer. Like, she doesn't actually do the pig farming, but she owns pig farms. And so, interesting relationships. Very dark book. I mean, if you're looking for something funny and uplifting, don't pick up Sharp Objects. But yeah, Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I thought it was pretty good. Like I said, there were some parts, and her writing wasn't amazing all the time, but good overall. If you like a good mystery, and if you like Gone Girl, you'll definitely like Sharp Objects. But, you know, beware. It's dark. And then I read The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I've heard so many good things about this book. And my mom read it. She checked it out of the library, and then I read it, and then so I had to give it back to her. Huge book. It's like 700 pages, and it's like a tall book, and it's dense. Like the words, the paragraphs, everything's just dense. So know that going into it. It's not a quick book. I was not able to finish it in my usual week. I didn't like the book. Okay, the first part, it won the Pulitzer Prize too, but the first part of the book was really good, I thought. I really enjoyed it. The second part was terrible, and it just kept going on and on and on. I mean, the book could have been half the length, easily. But in the beginning, the boy, he lives in New York City with his mom, and they're in a museum, and there's a terrorist attack. So a terrorist sets off a bomb in the museum, and his mom dies. He's 13 in the book when his mom dies, the exact same age as my son. That was difficult part for me to get there. So his dad is kind of just MIA, and so he's living with his friend's family for a while, and then the dad comes back in the picture, takes him to Las Vegas. His dad's a hot mess. So it just, I like the parts when he was younger, but then they do, like, the second half of the book is when he is an adult, and, lost me. So esoteric. It's so inside this guy's head. I couldn't deal with it. A lot of things didn't make sense to me, the storylines. Whatever. And the Goldfinch is because when he's in the museum, he takes this painting after, in like all the chaos after the bombing. He survives, obviously. And he takes this famous painting called the Goldfinch his mom really liked, and then it's kind of, he keeps it all these years, and he thinks people are going to come and arrest him because he took it. But anyway, it's a weird book. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, unless you feel like reading 700 pages of just, I mean, it's almost 800 pages, I think. Whew. I had high hopes, but didn't like it. Okay, so this week I'm reading, and I'm almost done with it, The Truth About the Harry Colbert Affair. No, that's not Cubert. I called it Cubert forever. Embarrassing long amount of time. Colbert, it's French. Okay, where am I? 435 at about 600 pages, this is. This book could get real good or it could get real bad, so we're gonna see. We'll see where it goes. Some parts I'm like, really? So, but it's really good writing and really easy, quick read. And I'm also I have book club next week, The 10th Muse. My mom read this in a day, so I figure I can probably get it done in the next 4 days. Don't know anything that it's about, so we will see once I finish it. My mom said it was kind of sad. So we'll see. And also she brought me over Crazy Rich Asians, which I have been wanting to read forever. So I'm really excited about that. I'll probably do both the Harry Colbert and the 10th Muse next week. And then maybe after that, I'll do Crazy Rich Asians. So, all right, guys. So that is my lowdown. The one, pass. The summons, pass. Sharp Objects, maybe pick it up. Goldfinch, sorry, pass. Unless that's just your jam. I don't know. I didn't like it. Capuchon. And go on Wink Wine Club, and sign up. It's really cool. Just check it out, see if you like it. This is delicious. I'm gonna have another sip of this before I sign off. Oh yeah, it's so good. All right, guys, that's all for me. You have a great week, and I will be back next week with my review of the Henry Colbert Affair, not Cubert, and the 10th Muse. Bye.